Welcome. My name is Aaron Engelman from Two Teachers Tax Service here in Lyman, South Carolina. Today we're going to talk about the changes in state and local tax deductions in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act of 2025. SALT stands for State and Local Tax Deduction. SALT is part of Schedule A, the tax form used for itemized deductions. Since the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act capped the SALT deduction at $10,000, taxpayers have largely used the standard deduction. In fact, in 2017, before the TCJA, 31% of taxpayers itemized their deductions, compared to just 9% in 2024. The trade-off for taxpayers was that the standard deduction, previously called exemptions, was much higher than it had been in the past. However, taxpayers who lived in high-tax states who may have itemized before weren't able to use all of their SALT deductions because of the $10,000 cap. So what exactly does this law do? The OBBA raises the state and local tax deduction cap from $10,000 to $40,000. For taxpayers who file their taxes married filing separately, the limit increases to $20,000. There is a phase-out for taxpayers who make more than $500,000. For each dollar earned above $500,000, the state and local tax deduction cap decreases by 30 cents. Taxpayers who make $600,000 and above have a maximum SALT deduction of $10,000. This SALT deduction cap is temporary. It will expire at the end of 2029. The caps and income thresholds will increase by 1% each year until they revert to the old limits in 2030. Here's how this law might affect you. Let's say that you are a married filing jointly taxpayer who lives in a high tax state like New York, California, or New Jersey, who has property taxes of $25,000. Since 2018, your SALT deduction has been capped at $10,000, leaving $15,000 in possible deductions unused. Your taxes might look like this. So, let's imagine adjusted gross income of $150,000, itemized deduction of $25,000, and the reason for that is the SALT deduction is capped at $10,000. So SALT deduction of $10,000, interest you paid $10,000, gifts to charity $5,000, for a total of itemized deductions of $25,000. Well, in this case, you're better off using the standard deduction of $31,500 rather than the itemized deductions, which is capped because of your SALT. So, with SALT limitations, and again, we're over here, with SALT limitations, you have $150,000 in adjusted gross income minus $31,500 standard deduction. Remember, you can't take all of the SALT, and so you're stuck with the standard deduction, equals $118,500 in taxable income, leaving you with federal income tax of $15,898. Now, with the new SALT increase limitations, let's do it the other way. $150,000 in adjusted gross income minus now $40,000 itemized deduction gives you $110,000 taxable income, which results in tax of $13,546 federal tax, which is $2,352 less. So for those that have been limited by this cap on the SALT deduction, you could really see a difference in your taxes. The increased state and local tax deduction cap is one of many temporary provisions in the broader OBBBA. If your itemized deductions have in the past been close but not higher than the standard deduction, this could have a huge impact on your tax bill. If you live in a low tax state, this change in law will likely not have any effect on your taxes. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us at Two Teachers Tax Service by phone at 269-449-8277 or by email at twoteacherstax@gmail.com. Thank you.